Hi, y'all. It's Holly. So, the other movie I watched on the other day, out of the four, second one, I guess, was Scary Movie. And yes, this is not attached to a scary movie, but they make a Wicked reference. So, that's what I got for you. But, yeah, no, Scary Movie sucks. I smiled twice, and I went over this in the short too, but I smiled twice. It was one, I think it was Anna Faris. Don't quite remember. I think it was her saying like it was something had to do with the whole Elon thing about throwing your heart out to the crowd. I'm not completing the thing, but that thing is I was just throwing my heart out to the crowd or whatever. I forget what it was, and I was like, okay, yeah, sure. And the other one would have worked if they went in a little bit further, if they went like the Mel Brooks route, kind of, where Brenda gets shot by Ghostface, and Cindy's like, "Oh no, like you're dying, whatever," and like she's zipping Brenda up in a body bag. And it's like, "I'm not dead yet." Oh, okay, like okay, kind of funny. Like I could get behind that, but to make that funnier, it could have just been simple. It's just simple change. Like, I'm not dead yet. Shh, 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 shh. Like she pushes her down, like, no, 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 you're dead. Stop. Stop moving. That would have been funny. I would have laughed then. I think there was like another thing, maybe dealing with Shaq or Anthony Edwards at the end that was kind of funny. I don't know. But this movie was boring. It was bad. If I didn't know like the offensive jokes beforehand, I would have been mad. But I saw it like, okay, cool. Like the okay, so for those who don't know like the controversial offensive jokes in this, there are several like really mean-spirited anti-trans and non-binary jokes in this, and it's baffling. One, because hey, we live in a time period where that's kind of fucked up to do, especially when people are being like litigated to non-existence. But the other thing is, Marlon, you have a trans kid. Why are you making anti-trans, anti-woke, anti-whatever bullshit jokes when your kid's going to be affected by that? The fuck are you doing? And you've said that you support them. So what are you doing? Like that's baffling to me. So like one of the main characters kind of is a trans man. And they go through the whole thing, oh she like I'm sorry, blah blah blah. Like the whole like trans jokes of the dad not getting it and like them just saying like the one that was it was kind of bad, but it was like the delivery just needed to be better. Was like something to the effect of I'm just a woman. It's like, yeah, you are, except for the top part and the bottom part. It's like, no, I'm just a man or whatever. Yeah, so I'm just a man, except you're not flat in the bottom part. You don't have anything down there. So like, okay, it just needed to be like tweaked a bit. Then it'd be like, okay, sure, you can be darkly humorous, but it's just that kind of thing where it's like they made them look very stereotypical. It's just not works. And the other big one, like the one that's on the train, is worse, obviously, in the actual movie, being that Dia, or literally DEI, gets stabbed, and she's like, or they, I'm sorry. They're like, no, my pronouns are they, them. And then starts to insult the woman calling her Karen, which, A, stupid. And then the old woman's like, how dare you? I'm old. I can't remember pronouns. Stab. And then a guy also is like, why do you call that toxic masculinity? Stab. Blah, blah, blah. I just hate you. Stab. It's just like, why? You could have also written this better, too. Like, like the one I thought of, like even in the trailer, was like Ghostface stabs them. Like the old woman's like, you stabbed her, you killed her, and she's dying. She's like, it's actually they them, no, dead, done. And then the old woman's like, what did they say? Or like, yeah, let's say, what did they say? And then Ghostface like, stabs her. Fine, better. Also, why the hell is this movie a parody of Scream 5? Why is it Scream 5? They just released Scream 7. And you also made reference to the I Know What You Did Last Summer remake. Okay, you could have gone that route. You could have done like all the new cool like A24 movies. You could have done the big black horror resurgence after Get Out. By the way, you did Get Out twice for some. I mean, not twice, but you know what I mean. It's part of the same giant section. But it's like, why are all these old references? You have a literal like world star. You have them having a sponsorship with Angry Orchard, who's like, Angry Orchard hasn't had a legit commercial or hasn't been like known in a while. Like around the time period of those movies, they were parodying. I don't understand it. Even logically, these movies don't make sense in that they reference bits and like callbacks to parts three, four, five, all that jazz. Except somehow Shorty, who was, if I remember correctly, was in college in the second movie. Nah, he's back in high school now. I was like, nah, man, I'm a forever senior or whatever. It's like, but you were in college in the second one. And they actually even reference the second one happening. And they reference the third one happening. And they reference the fourth one and the fifth one and the sixth one, or fifth one. So why are you back in high school? Why is Brenda with Ray still? Because everyone already knows that either Ray's dead if the first one is true, it's the only one, or that everyone knows that Ray's gay and not with Brenda anymore. So why are they together? Like that, it doesn't make sense. Like they could have done so much more with this, and it's just so bad and lame. Uh, it's a weird mix of new and old references that I really feel like they just added in later because there's a Sinners bit, there's Final Destination 5, or Bloodlines, the Final Destination Bloodlines, plus Final Destination 3 reference, which is okay, I guess, sure. Halloween, which, okay, fair enough. Halloween's still pretty new. Fine. They don't do anything with Longlegs, by the way. They just have the butler just dress up like Longlegs so the police can beat up a black guy next to him, thinking that he's the villain. That's it. It's just that doesn't even have anything to do with the movie. The cops in that part don't even show up. It's just a scene. That's it. I shouldn't get so upset about a stupid comedy, but it's so bad. It really is. I don't get it. Like it everyone was all excited, like, hey, they're back. It's like, oh, they haven't changed since the first two. Cool. And this is the comedy that we want back. Like I've seen plenty of comments, plenty of videos and shit of like people saying like, this movie was so funny. I saw it stoned. It was hilarious. Yeah, there's your answer right there. You saw it stoned. That's why it's funny. If you were sober, you probably wouldn't find it as funny. Or if you grew up since the 2000s, you wouldn't find it as funny. Granted, I'll give you, if you're a teenager now and you're kind of a dumb kid, you may actually find it funny. Much like how when I first saw them, found them funny. I will say I do like the third one still. I may still go back to that and check it out, but there are some bits that I vividly remember and still think are funny, like the whole stuff with Andy Edwards and Kevin Hart being like, he went he he went to bed and woke up dead. So how do you wake up dead? So he went to bed. That whole bit, or like, your teacher, yeah, she's dead. Everyone you know is dead. That whole bit, like part three did have some good bits. Part two, I don't think it's aged as bad as part one, but it is still a little rough in sections. In one, I don't think it's as good as people remember anymore. And I don't know, I didn't see four or five, so I don't care on that one. But it's just so weird. that they did this. I mean, yeah, it's making a ton of money, sure, but it's like, why? Why not just do new movies only? Why do Scream 5? Why not do Scream 6, Scream 7? Why any of that? Make a whole new story. Do something. And but they kind of do Scream 7 at the very end, by the way, because it turns out the villains are Shorty and Ray. And they wanted to kill the young kids. Well, Shorty, Ray, Anthony Edwards, and Shaq. But they wanted to kill the young kids because screw legacy sequels. They're still popular and they're still going to take over. So it ends with like them burning down the house, like the beginning of Scream 7 and all that jazz. So they're okay. So this whole movie was just the build up saying you hate remakes and reboots, and so you're just gonna do it yourselves from now on, huh? Okay, whatever. Like this movie was really just bad. Like literally, I may have like I'm just like this the whole time. It's just that's it. Like, great, the guy behind me was laughing his ass off, and like I said in the short, I'm not like opposed to laughing at dumb comedy at all. I'm excited for the Jackass movie coming out later this month. I will laugh my ass off at that movie for sure. But like I'm also just very into slapstick anyway, so that's just going to be part of it. But yeah, no, this movie was like not that. It, the other thing that really baffles me is it has to be an ego thing. It has to be a fragile, like them just having an ego or something. But they like the whole market is like, we're not going to push any boundaries. We're going to make fun of everyone, blah, blah, blah. Okay. What about him? Why don't you want to make fun of your movie? Why don't you want to make fun of your bad movie? You literally have one of the characters who's a football player. If you want to just do a random scene, have his whole little bits be that he goes to a parody of that camp from him and just make it more ridiculous. Make fun of that your movie failed. Have that kind of like be able to do that. Then I could be like, hey, at least I respect you enough to say, yeah, you know that your movie sucked. But no, you don't want to do that. You want to say that you're still right, your comedy's still funny, everyone else is the wrong ones. That shouldn't endear you to anyone except for internet chodes and people who still live in the past or people who are high. Which if that's the people you want to keep with you, then fine, I guess, but it doesn't make any sense. You can't complain about new comedy sucks and kids don't get it if you're only doing comedy from the 2000s. It's just lazy. Lazy and doesn't show any growth as writers or comedians. Like it's just like it's worse than the all of them. At least like the first two. It's actually worse because those ones at least like were ridiculous enough. This one, and like they were parody movies that were out at the time or relatively new. This one's parody movies from like 10 years ago, mostly. Like there's some not, but like this is mostly a parody of a movie that came out almost 10 years ago. What? I don't know. This one was bad. This one was bad. Thank God I watched a way better comedy later, but I'll get to that in a sec. See ya.